Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session. It's a special session on Father's Day. Father's Day was actually International Father's Day was celebrated on the 21st of this month, but since it also coincided with the International Yoga Day, so we actually had to space the sessions out, and we did the yoga sessions on Tuesday, and therefore have scheduled this session today. It's a first time that we're doing this, and we're privileged to have with us Dr. Anu Suraj, who's joining us here on the call. And before I introduce the speaker, I would also like to tell you that this is probably one of the first times that we're doing a very, special session for fathers. Usually it's always been Women's Day or Mother's Day that has been celebrated, but it is important, even more so, to celebrate International Father's Day because um, being a father itself comes with its own challenges, and balancing work and the home front is a matter of stress. And Dr. Anu's session actually has been curated, keeping these real life challenges and experiences in mind. So I do hope that you benefit and gain from today's session. Dr. Anu, I'll request you to please put your camera on. Thank you, Dr. Anu. Okay, so very quickly, Dr. Anupama Suraj is a trauma-informed mental health expert. She has over 2 decades of experience and has empowered more than 3 lakh children and adults through various therapies, advocacy, and community engagement. She holds an honorary doctorate in clinical social work and mental health, a master's degree in psychology and psychiatric social work, and a postgraduate diploma in clinical counseling. She is trained in advanced therapeutic modalities, which include narrative therapy, clinical hypnosis, mindfulness, yoga therapy, and expressive arts. She brings a deeply holistic approach to healing. A TEDx speaker and recognized mental health safety advocate, she has received multiple national and international accolades for her contributions to mental health, child protection, and social impact. Today, she's here to take us through some of the challenges, understand some of the challenges, unravel and unpack those for you. And also, she's going to be providing you with certain toolkits that you can use in everyday life. It'll be nice if you can actually have your cameras on, because Dr. Anu would like to also make this an interactive session. So they do be participative. And also, if you have any queries, questions, do feel free to interject during the course of the session itself. And with that, I'd like to now hand it over to Dr. Anu.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marian. Vishnupriya, can you just share my presentation? Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Marian, for the intro.
Good afternoon, Doc. Thank you.
A very warm Father's Day to all the fathers joining in here with us today, and to everyone else who plays an important role in supporting the fathers and families. So before I begin, I would like to ask you a very simple question. You can just reflect on this. You don't have to type on chat, or if you want to answer, also fine. So I would like you to answer a simple question, or just reflect on this question. When people know you are a father, when you go somewhere or casually when you meet someone, what do they usually ask? Is it like, how are the children? Which class are they in? Or how are they doing? Any of these things or anything else? Okay, I just want you to reflect on these questions for a few seconds. So why I have given you this question to reflect on is because very few people pause and ask you, how are you doing? So today I would like us to have that conversation. Vishnupriya, don't change the slide now. It's on the first slide itself. Okay. Yeah. So we would like to have a conversation on that. So today is not about, or any day for that matter, is not about being perfect fathers, not about ideal parenting, but about the human being behind the title dad. Okay. So this is what we are going to do now. So before we celebrate fathers, let's first understand why this conversation is important. Okay, so which is why we have a very completely safe and non-judgmental space here today for the fathers. And over the past 2 years, if I look at my profile, I've been in a lot of community involving women and mothers. And for the first time in a long period of time, this year I'm getting to address a lot of dads, a lot of men on men's mental health, and this one on something very special for dad. Yeah, we can go to the next slide now. So as I said, we often celebrate fathers for everything they do, right? From being a provider, protecting, sacrificing, supporting. But somewhere along the way, we while we have become very good at appreciating what fathers do, we are not always as good at asking how fathers feel, right? I'm sure that most of you will agree that that is not a question which comes very often to you. So, as a trauma informed therapist, I've had the privilege of working with parents, as I said, over many years. One thing I've noticed is that mothers often have more spaces to talk about parenting, emotions, mental health, and all that. Many fathers, however, carry their worries very quietly, not because they don't feel deeply, but because they have rarely been given permission to express those feelings, right? So today's conversation is about making a little space for those voices. Okay. So if you can relate to that even a little, just type yes in the chat. Okay. Shall we have a little interaction on that? If you relate to that, you can type an yes in the chat. So why do fathers stay silent? I'm getting responses slowly. Yeah, thank you so much. Keep coming. I'm checking the responses. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being with me on this. We are going to the next slide now. So why do fathers stay silent? That's what I want to bring you on to. And here today we are actually seeing fathers everywhere on social media, right? Like from playing with children to cooking, traveling, laughing with family. That's all very wonderful. But social media rarely shows the sleepless nights, the financial calculations, the self doubt, or the guilt that a dad may have. There is often a gap between the images people see and the reality fathers experience. Many boys grew up hearing things like, the stereotypes that we are having in society, like be strong, don't cry, handle it, man up, and all that. I'm sure most of you would have heard all these things at some point in your life. The problem isn't the strength. The problem is when the strength becomes a silence, right? So I have actually met dads who could describe every detail of their child's education plan, but struggle to answer one simple question: how are you feeling these days? Okay, yeah. So this is what the topic is all about, and this is what uh, social media says, like how it idealizes certain things and how we often fall into the trap. Okay, so let me go take you on to the next slide now. I have a live poll for you here now. Take your time and you can again type it on the chat here. There is no right answer here. Please choose the one that reflects your reality today. Okay, so on to the responses. What weighs you most as a father today? One, financial responsibilities. Two, child's future. Three, work-life balance, not spending enough time with family. And the last one, your own mental well-being. So you can just Type in, take in some time and type in in the chat. Or if you have anything other than what is being put here, please add in, okay? Please feel free to add in those as well. Anything beyond what I've put in here, it's totally fine. Bit of everything, yeah. So much. Namit has said not spending enough time with the family, yeah. Okay. Future. Thank you, Rajesh. Anything more? Anyone else? Yeah, I can see 26 participants here. So I would like to get more responses. Future. Thank you, Swaroop. Okay. The rest of them are just reflecting, I guess. That's okay. Thank you. Thank you for your responses. I find something interesting every time I ask this question. The answers are different, but underneath every option is responsibility, whether it is finances, children, career, or mental well being. And they all come from caring very deeply, right? So let us look at how the role of fatherhood itself, how it has changed. Okay, so I have slide 5 here, wherein you will find an interesting um, thing called Daddy 1.0 versus Daddy 2.0. Can you change the slide? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the slide will help you realize, or maybe help fathers realize why parenting feels harder today. So our generation, father's generation and today's generation often had very different expectations. Like many of us grew up with fathers who loved deeply, but didn't always express it, or maybe did not know how to express it. Okay, maybe they don't know the right words, they don't know how to vocalize or verbalize it. And their role was often to provide, protect, and discipline. That's all. Today's father is expected to do all of that, plus also be emotionally available, right? To help with the homework, attend the school meeting, understand social media, and then be present, share household responsibilities, talk about emotions, and all those things. This evolution is beautiful. I would like to call this an evolution itself from what it has, where we have been, and from where, looking at from where we are coming from and where we are into. So, but it also means today's fathers are navigating a role that many of them never saw modeled growing up, and that can feel quite overwhelming. How many of you sometimes feel that the expectations from fathers today are very different from what your own fathers experienced? Can you give me reactions or chat? Or you can type on the chat. The question is, how many of you sometimes feel that the expectations from fathers today are very different from what your own fathers experienced? I hope my question is clear. You can give reactions or you can type it on the chat as well. I think that's where the silent mental load begins, not because fathers are weak, but because the job description has changed. Soft and hard reaction. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Manish and Dinesh. We have become very good at appreciating what fathers do. Today, I would like us to appreciate the human being behind what they do. Okay, so as I say that, we are going on to the next slide, slide 6. Yeah, so I'm coming a bit to the mental health part of it. When fathers suppress emotions, it doesn't just affect them, it affects their relationship and family life. Okay, so many fathers don't seek help because they think I should be able to handle this, but emotional suppression comes with a cost. It can show up as irritability, it can show up as withdrawing from loved ones, working longer hours, or feeling emotionally disconnected from people around you. So the issue isn't that fathers don't feel, it's that many don't feel safe expressing their emotions or vocalizing themselves. So silence doesn't make stress disappear. It simply changes how it shows up. So this is a statistical side. And we also have to see what exactly our fathers carrying every day. Okay, going on to slide 7. So you can see the visible and invisible responsibilities. People often see the responsibilities, but not definitely the mental load. You'll notice the visible responsibilities like earning, paying bills, making decisions, but there is another side to it that people don't see. How many of you have heard about the iceberg theory that the psychology talks about? In just layman's terms, are you aware of the theory? You can just give a reaction or something like that if you know about this, because the theory is very important and it can be applied to industrial situations as well. Any of you are aware of the theory? Don't Google it now. If you know it, you can just tell that to me. No. Okay, so what the theory says is that a good part of our insecurities, troubles, pressure, stress, distresses are all submerged. It's all inside the um, subconscious, and what appears outside is just tip of the work that we see outside. So that explains, the constant worrying. Okay, am I doing enough? Will my children be okay? Can I balance everything? That invisible load is often the heaviest, which is what psychology mostly talks about. We push it, we internalize it. It's all lying down in the subconscious, which is not accessible all the time, but it plays a very big role in giving a mental overload, in making you distressed, and in causing you severe burnout. So which invisible responsibility do you think weighs the most on fathers? Okay, you can give chat responses on this as well. It should be like based on what you experience. It can be anything, any of these, or maybe more. If you feel any of these invisible responsibility as weighing you down, you can just put it on the chat. You can add more also. Okay, any of you? Okay, nobody. So still thinking, still reflecting, fine. If the thought process is going, that's also fine. Let's go to slide 8. I have a small interactive activity here. So I want you all to wake up from your sleep and then get up and do this, because I know it feels quite heavy after a lunch to come and sit for a session. So yeah, Vishnupriya, can you just change? Okay, you have changed it. Thank you. Okay, not being able to connect with the child as much as a mother due to paucity of time. Yeah, totally. I get you totally. This is what many fathers who come to me tell me actually. But yes, there has been a significant shift, right, in how you guys are parenting now and our parents used to parent. And I'll tell you that I'm based in Cochin. Okay, so and here I have been to a lot of schools, primarily doing sessions for parents, and that will be they'll keep it on a day along with the orientation when the school begins. Okay, I've had recently in Rajagiri, I have one coming in Sanskara. Those two are for parents of Gen Alpha. And then I've had in Tokech, I've had in Choice, I've had in Global, and I've had for a lot of schools in rural areas too through my NGO. So in all of these, what I can see is I'll definitely say that there is a very significant shift in parenting, because they understand that every generation is different. Every generation has their own characteristic traits, and we cannot apply the same parenting strategies to different generations, right? Because we all come with some emotional load. The mother comes with a load of her own, the father comes with a load of his own, and then they bring it together and pass it on to the next generation. That is where we need to act. We need to stop the intergenerational stuff, talk or trauma or whatever there, and become mindful parents. So I'll just connect with you on something before we move to the interactive session. So recently I had a couple coming into my clinic, and I asked them, okay, so what is the concern? Is there a problem for you? So they said, no, ma'am, absolutely, there are no problems. And they were smiling at each other. So yeah, I can understand, from the societal point of view, people go to a counselor, a psychologist, or psychiatrist primarily because they have a mental illness, right, or a mental problem. and nobody wants to talk about it because of the stigma. But then there are two parents here who already wanted to talk about how they can raise their kids up more responsibly and more mindfully and share their responsibilities together and become better parents. I was like, wow, I was amazed at seeing this paradigm shift that is happening in the society. So, yeah, I have one more answer here: hide the struggles to keep the family happy. Right. Thank you. Okay, now you can go to this section. This is slide 8 where I have placed an interactive activity. I would like you to complete this sentence just for yourself or anonymously if your platform, I mean, like, if it's okay for you. Nobody knows that as a father, I. So that's the thing. There are no right or wrong answers. You can always put the family first. Thank you, Ujjwal. Yeah. Anybody else? I'm quite happy that quite a bit of you are coming with honestly with your answers. Sometimes simply putting feelings into words reduces the weight we carry, right? So, which is why they have arranged this session for you. And I'm here to offer you a completely safe and non-judgmental space. So you can feel free to put anything. Anybody else? So the sentence was, nobody knows that as a father, I. So unusual has put, always put my family first. Okay, that's great. So we are coming to that section also. I put a slide in. I would like to tell you something, Ujjwal. I'll come there. Okay. Okay. So thank you so much. One stage of fatherhood where many men feel particularly uncertain is during the arrival of a new baby. So that's where I want to go next. Okay, I have one more answer. Feel scared and anxious of my child's future. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we'll move on to the next slide. Thank you. Thank you for the participation. Okay, so I've put this specifically because when a baby is born, much of the attention rightly goes to the mother and the child. But many fathers are quietly adjusting too, right? You will all agree with me on this. They may feel helpless, unsure how to support their partner, worried about finances, or uncertain about their new role. All these things happen on the side. So okay, so this isn't about comparing fathers and mothers. Okay, it's about recognizing that both of them need support, right? So just like there is a saying, okay, strong families aren't built by strong individuals, they are built when people support one another, right? So, and what's interesting is that science now tells us fatherhood changes men too. Okay, so we go on to the next slide. So that will tell you about what I talked now, the science of the shift. Yeah. So fatherhood changes the brain and body, not just the lifestyle. Okay. So we often think motherhood brings biological changes, but fatherhood does that too. Okay. Because research shows that fathers experience hormonal and neurological changes that prepare them for caregiving and bonding. That is what studies show. The more involved fathers are in a child's life, the stronger that bond often becomes. Because I've always seen that parents who are very emotionally bonded with their children, who are available, who share responsibility, who validate, acknowledge the children, have secure attachment styles with themselves. Like with the child will have a secure attachment with the parent and later on will become a well molded and balanced individual. So being present isn't just good for children, it also shapes the fathers. Okay, I would like to ask one more thing. How many of you wish someone had prepared you more for becoming a father? Like, have you ever felt that, okay, I was given a manual how to be, how to parent a kid or how to be a better parent, or, how many of you wish? You can just raise your hand. How many of you wish someone had prepared you more for becoming a father? Yes, okay, thank you. Dinesh says yes. While science explains these changes, the next question is, where do fathers find support when they need it? Mani says, I had a clean slate being raised by a single mother. So, yes, okay. Gratitude for sharing all these things. Okay. So, again, as I said, In my practice, I've actually seen fathers who carry enormous responsibility, yet they hesitate to say, I am struggling. Because you know what, from times immemorial, like again, I'm taking you back to the previous generation and all that, um, there was something existing in the society which said reaching out is weakness, right? Getting help is not a matter of strength, which actually makes many of us take that first step, hesitating to seek help or reaching out. So, reaching out as such is not weakness. That's what I wanted to tell you. And which is why we are going to slide 11. Vishnupriya, can you change the next slide? So, breaking the stigma. Men don't always heal by talking first. Sometimes they heal by belonging. So I have placed a model here. So research and lived experiences show that fathers often connect while doing something together. So this is you can um, go ahead and research much more on this when you get time uh, after your work hours and all that if you get time. So see how they come together as a community, walking, playing football, working on a project, having tea. So connection sometimes comes before the conversation. The lesson here is very simple. Every father deserves a community where he doesn't have to pretend he's okay, right? So pretending that somebody is okay is going to create more disturbances and distress in the long run than when you actually accept and sit with your real emotions. So before we create those communities, we need to acknowledge one truth that fathers have mental health too. So we go on to the next slide wherein we are just trying to normalize mental health. So we have become comfortable talking about physical health, right? So if we have a fever, if we get a fever, we would go approach a doctor, we would take in a medicine, we would just lie down, feeling fatigued, we would just lie down on the bed or sofa. But what about mental health? Okay, we often shy away from having open conversations because we fear judgment, we fear the labels that come associated with mental health. But I would like to tell you that mental health deserves the same openness as physical health. Because all those things that I've put here, stress, burnout, loneliness, parenting, self doubt, they don't make someone a bad father, they make someone human. Because as humans, we tend to have ups and downs, happiness and sadness, positives and negatives. So, one of the strongest things our father can say is, I'm finding this difficult. That sentence doesn't weaken the family. I wanted to put this again and again. It strengthens them because the child understands it's okay not to be okay. You can also have an open conversation with the child and the family. So, what if we started making parenting visible? Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. Yeah, so the slide is called Parent Out Aloud. What if we started making parenting visible? So, instead of apologizing for leaving early for a school function, let's normalize it. When you have leaders openly giving you platforms like this, okay, when leaders openly speak about parenting responsibilities, they quietly give others the permission to do the same. So, have any of you ever felt guilty for leaving work for a family commitment? Or maybe it's time we redefine what strength really means. Can you put it on the chat? Have you ever felt guilty for leaving work for a family commitment? Or how many of you have done that and felt guilty? Can you type it on the chat, please? We'll slowly move on to the, yeah, you felt guilty. Okay. Yeah, I've done that too. So I understand we are on the same page. Hmm. Okay. So Dinesh says as of now he hasn't reached the situation. Okay, Dinesh. Ujjwal says sometimes, but family always first. Yeah, I get it. So strength isn't emotional suppression. We are going to redefine strength now. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. I think many of us grew up believing strength meant carrying everything alone. So that's what, yeah, I said I'll come to this slide later. So today I would like to offer another definition. Again, we have to work on this as a society, as a community together. Strength is knowing when to ask for help. Strength is apologizing. Strength is listening. Strength is showing up consistently. Not perfectly, but consistently, which makes both of them, it's a lot different, okay? Because presence is remembered longer than perfection. So we often strive to be, uh, the perfect expectations for ourselves. As a parent, this is how I should be. As a husband, this is how I should be. So then we end up burning out if we are not able to meet it, because unrealistic expectations can cause a lot of distress. So remember this line. This line is for you. We want to keep showing up for others. There is something we must do first. Okay. So the next slide is about that. Let's go to the next slide, Vishnupriya. Okay. So yeah, this is self-explanatory. It's called the oxygen mask principle, which reflects self-care. So self-care enables caregiving. And yeah, whenever we are on an airplane, we are told to wear our own oxygen mask first. This is just a reminder slide. I know you all know this. I also know this, but then yeah, reminders are always helpful for the brain. Not because we are selfish, okay, because we cannot help someone else if we are unable to function ourselves. Are you all on with me on this? That we cannot help someone else if we are unable to function ourselves. The same applies to parenting. So looking after our own well-being, be it mental, physical, emotional, occupational, social, isn't a luxury. Yeah, it's part of responsible parenting. Thank you, Marian, for your response. Okay. So again, yeah, children don't need parents who solve every problem. That's also there. So we are going to talk about emotionally available parents next. They need parents who help them feel safe. Okay. So that's where we are going on to now. So, you know, we often say, we often use phrases like, don't cry. Okay. So try rephrasing the don't cry with, I can see you are upset. Can you tell me what happened? I am here for you. Okay. That is emotional availability. Yeah. Thank you, Vishnupriya. Okay. Before children borrow our advice, they borrow our calm. Okay. That's what we mean by co-regulation. So in the previous generation, you would have heard, like, most of the parents talk about control, regulation, discipline, etc. But given this generation of children, it demands more mindful and responsive parenting because of several other reasons. Okay. So, first thing is you want your child to have a very secure attachment with you, and for that, you need to co regulate. So, this is how you co regulate. Okay. You are not going to tell them, don't cry, don't be angry, don't be upset. No, you can rephrase this as, my child, I can see you are sad, you are upset. Can you tell me what happened? I'm here for you. I'll be there for you. Something like that. These are statements of emotional availability. Okay, where you're telling the child that you are there for them, you're present for them. And again, which brings me to a question I would like all of us to reflect on. Okay, we are going to slide 15 next. Yeah, just a short reflection. What kind of father did you need? Okay, so why I have put this slide here is because our childhood shapes our parenting. That is the foundational thing. Yeah, all of the above, right? I would like everyone to think back, not for too long, just for a moment. While you were growing up, what kind of a father did you need? Somebody who listened to you, somebody who encouraged you, somebody who protected you, somebody who spent time with you, or perhaps someone who was simply emotionally available. All of the above. Yeah. Thank you for the response, Dinesh. So many of us spend adulthood trying to give our children what we ourselves longed for. Okay, and that awareness can become one of our greatest greatest strength as parents. So I had a patient. Okay, she's a female. She's a she's a she's not a mother. She has been coming in because she has a mother with a mental illness, and so she has had some traumas while she grew up, and she is really scared to be a mother. So she told me, I have this fear that I won't be a good parent to my child or a good mother to my child. So I was asking her, why are you saying that? It's because of this. Okay, because she has had a lot of trauma during childhood, and she doesn't want to give it to the to her child, which is wise enough. That's why I said this generation is different. They're thinking different. They don't want to pass the intergenerational trauma to the next generation without healing. That is the quote unquote statement here, without healing. So don't ever take your emotional baggage to the next generation. Don't give it to your children. Don't pass it down. Heal yourself, because that is where the change really comes from. You know what? Millennials, I don't know how many millennial parents are here, fathers are here, but millennials are supposed to be the most sandwiched generation. Can you tell me why? Can any of you unmute yourself and tell me why we are? I am a millennial, so that's why I use the we statement there. So yeah, can any of you tell me why is the millennial generation called as a most sandwich generation? Anyone? Okay, I'll tell you if you don't get it. So the thing is that, yeah, somebody was
Yeah,
there.
I'm Manish here. I mean, obviously, because we are in between the, Gen Zs
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead, sir.
and the baby boom, of the fact that yeah, I'm saying also we have to, understand that in a sandwich, the thing in between is the most interesting one.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. So it's actually, I'm referring to that generation, middle-aged adults, typically in their 30s
Yeah,
to
correct.
50s. Yeah. So who are
Correct.
sandwiched between there is a simultaneous pressure of raising dependent children and providing care of financial support for the aging parents, and the aging
True.
parents who have come from a different generation and who have had, their own conditioning, their own regressive thoughts and ways. Most of them had followed a very strict and authoritarian parenting, and we cannot do that to the next generation, so we are sandwiched because we don't want to take it forward to our children. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Yeah, okay, so this reflection will actually lead us to the final part of today's conversation. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Vishnupriya, can you change the slide? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm thankful for all the responses and the people who unmuted themselves and talked. Yeah. So the good news is that, as Mani said, fatherhood is changing. So today's fathers are spending more time with their children. They are more involved, more emotionally engaged, more willing to listen and learn. That doesn't mean the journey is easy, right? It simply means we are moving in the right direction, and that is definitely something worth celebrating. But uh, this slide is about hope. Okay, so before we conclude, I would like to invite you for one final reflection. Okay, this you can take your time and do it. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so I would like you to do something if you are comfortable. Okay, all of you can close your eyes from wherever you're sitting. Okay, imagine your son or daughter is now 30 years old. Okay, imagine your son or daughter is now 30 years old. They're writing a letter about you. Okay, not your designation, not your salary, not your achievement, just you. They're going to write about you. What do you hope those first three lines say? What do you want the children to write? I mean, what do you hope that they would write in the first three lines? Okay, I just want you to reflect. I don't want you to write or anything. I'm just going to count 20 in my head and give you that time to reflect. Okay, there is a silent counting I'm going to do. I hope you all got my question. Do you want me to repeat? If any of you want me to repeat? Mm. Was always there for me no matter what. That's really great. I'm going to give you some time. Okay. So if those words are different from the life you are living today, don't let that create guilt. Okay. Let it create intention because tomorrow is another opportunity. So the good news is meaningful change doesn't begin with grand gestures. Okay. I will go to the last slide now. I have an answer here. I have somebody typing in something. My family always supported at any situation. That's simply great. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, the good news is meaningful change doesn't begin with grand gestures. It begins with small moments. Okay. So I have some takeaway for you. Let's do this one together. Okay. So I want you, so those who are very comfortable to close their eyes, please do so. If you're not comfortable, you can keep your eyes open and you can have the screen, you will have the screen in front anyways. So please inhale, take one deep breath, just one deep breath and let it out. Okay, taking in a deep breath means you're breathing in through your nose. You will mildly notice your diaphragm or abdomen moving out as you inhale in deeply. Blow out through your mouth, as in how you blow out. Okay. Now inhale for 4. Okay. Count 4 in your mind and take a deep inhalation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now exhale for 6. Slowly, very slowly exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so most of you would have noticed that while you're exhaling, all the breath is going out suddenly, and you're not pausing. So let's do this one more time. Okay, I hope all of you are with me. Inhale for 4 seconds. Okay. So take in deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are holding for 4 seconds now. Don't exhale yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I hope it was better this time. Now I want you to take one deep inhalation as in last time. Take a deep inhalation and exhale out. Okay, so those who are not very familiar with how a belly breathing or a deep breathing works, I want you to do one small thing. Take your right hand, place it over your chest. Okay, first sit erect on your seat. Keep your spine erect and just relax. Okay, now keep your right hand on your chest and left hand on your abdomen. Okay, and we are going to notice how the diaphragm or the abdomen shifts as you breathe in. So we're taking a very deep breath, as in not the chest breathing but abdominal breathing. Okay, take a deep breath in, inhale. Okay, you can hear my sound as I take my breath in and my abdomen has moved out. Okay, now breathe out slowly through your mouth. Blow out. Okay, this is how it will be. Take one more breath, inhale. As you inhale, notice that the abdomen is slightly moving outside. Breathe out. As you breathe out, watch the abdomen contract. Okay, so this is the process that we'll be doing. This will help you to establish mind body connection and it will help you to calm down your anxiety levels. So this is something you can do before entering your home after a very stressful day, and for 30 seconds maybe, and your child receives a calmer version of you. Okay, we also have something in addition to this called box breathing. You'll get it anywhere. Okay, you'll get it on the Google, you'll get it on the YouTube. You can try that as well. So it has a gif. So basically it's like it's we are able to handle it by ourselves. You don't need a practitioner to guide you. You can do it on your own. So I love that practical application actually. So I would love to leave you with one thought before we move to the Q&A. And yes, we are going to the next slide now. Okay. So if there is one thing I hope you remember from today's session, it's this: children do not need perfect parents, perfect fathers. They need fathers who can say, I was wrong, let's try again, I'm sorry, I overreacted. Because relationships are not built on never making mistakes. As I said, they are built on repairing them. Okay. I would like to leave you with one final thought. Tonight, don't try to become a different father. Okay. Become a slightly more present one. Keep your phone away for one conversation, more hug, because children rarely remember our busiest days. They remember how we made them feel. Pause, smile. Okay. Thank you. We can stop the presentation now, Vishnupriya. So thank you so much, everyone, for being patient and interacting very well. So I would like to open the session to any question and answers that any of you might have regarding the session. You can unmute yourself and ask, or you can just, put it on the chat also. It's fine.
Amit has said that this was wonderful, Dr. Anu. Thanks a lot for the session.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
So, if you do not have any questions, we'll come to the conclusion of today's session. Like I said in the beginning of when we started the session, this is a topic that needs to be discussed, and I'm glad that whoever the 21 of you who are here today have taken that first step. I don't think we talk enough about parenting and more so about fatherhood. Dinesh says, will you recommend to celebrate Father's Day as like Women's Day? Of course, it is. Both. Parents bring up a child, and it is parents that bring up a generation. So both play an important and equally critical role in the development of the child. But what's important is that this conversation needs to continue beyond just today's session. And I think some of the tips which Doctor has actually shared with us in today's session is something that you can take forward and, try to see how you can use it in everyday life. And we've just put a small feedback form in the group here. It's in the chat box. I would invite you to click on that and give us your feedback. It's just 3 simple questions. It will help us to customize future programs for the future as well, and make it more, targeted to your requirements. So once again, wish all of you a very happy International Father's Day, and wishing you good health, and more importantly, enough courage to pull off the role of a father, which is, of course, not as simple as everybody makes it seem. And session, you can write to me, and I will connect it to Dr. Anu if for any kind of responses. Friends, I also want to tell you that we have a Living Well Plus platform that is available on One ITC. And I would invite you to go and explore that platform, because there are a lot of services like the way Dr. Anu has talked to you today about this topic. There are various kinds of topics and various kinds of services that are available specific to well-being, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. So please do join and visit that platform and experience those services. With this, I'll conclude today's session. Thanks everyone for being here.